from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome to the National News. We are coming to you live from the National News Studio. And together with me is Charita Minipurarachi. I'm Dilanjali Ananda. The BIMSTEC Summit of Technical and Economic Cooperation begins. An agreement between India and Sri Lanka to safeguard Buddhist cultural heritage. The Director General of Health Services says that there is no gas shortage in hospitals. The United States is to assist in encouraging renewable power projects. The National Home Gardening Campaign titled Let's Start From Our Garden commences tomorrow. Ukraine incurs losses amounting to $63 billion due to Russian attacks. Best Actor engages in a fighting scene at the Oscar Awards presentation. On our top story, the BIMSTEC Summit is taking place in Colombo, and this three-day meeting is going to be hosted by Sri Lanka, and all the participants are here at the moment, and the BIMSTEC is the venue for this summit. And the restructuring of the economy and the technological enhancement are the key discussions that are scheduled to take place. Sri Lanka holds chairmanship of the three-day meeting being conducted at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall in Colombo. Today's session was presided over by Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Admiral Jayanath Kolabage, and Secretary General of the BIMSTEC Conference, Tenzil Lekpel. Representatives of 7 countries, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Thailand are attending the event. Attention is being focused on the progress of the BIMSTEC Summit during the proceedings. Discussions are also scheduled to be conducted over necessary measures to be taken on economic reconstruction and technological enhancement. Other objectives include passing of the BIMSTEC Charter and the signing of several legal agreements. The Conference of BIMSTEC Region Foreign Ministers is scheduled to be held tomorrow. The summit of the state leaders is to be held on next Wednesday. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will preside over the session.
Our civilizations dating back to thousands of years remain connected. Therefore, countries in the BIMSTEC are natural partners in progress. This is the reason why BIMSTEC as an organization has been able to flourish and expand over the 25 years of its existence. Sri Lanka, as one of the founding members of BIMSTEC, remains deeply committed to the objectives and principles of the organization. I am confident that through our collective efforts, we can build this organization to become one of the most important regional blocs in the world. Our deliberations today will be a catalyst for sharing ideas and weaves for the organization to rededicate itself to deliver a prosperous future for all our peoples of the member states of the BIMSTEC. Excellencies, Asia is increasingly the center of world economy. By 2040, the continent is projected to account for more than half of the global GDP and about 40% of global consumption. Global cross-border flows are shifting towards Asia on a number of fronts, and the region's growth is becoming more broad-based and sustainable as its constituent economies increasingly integrate with each other. This is a diverse region, but its different parts have complementary characteristics, and powerful networks are developing within Asia. Patterns of globalizations are shifting, and these shifts are occurring faster in Asia than elsewhere, suggesting that more than any other continent, Asia could shape the way globalization unfolds in the years ahead. BIMSTEC member states account for a significant part of the world economy, with economic powerhouses such as India and Thailand, as well as emerging and growing economies such as Bangladesh, Nepal and Myanmar and Sri Lanka. This region has shown a huge potential for growth over the past decades. The economic disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic has shown that resilience matters more than ever. Although the pandemic has bruised and in the case of some even battered our economies and challenged our growth patterns, the BIMSTEC region has remained relatively resilient and opportunities for economic growth are promising. I propose that the BIMSTEC must seize the opportunities of new growth patterns and accelerate activities of trade and investment within our region.
Now, parallel to the BIMSTEC Summit, which is taking place in Colombo, among the many other participants of various other country delegates is also the Indian Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is here on a 3-day official visit. And there was a special meeting that was held at the President's office with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today.
Minister Jaishankar has arrived in the country to participate in the 5th BIMSTEC Summit, which got underway in Colombo. The President has expressed pleasure over his arrival and extended thanks for granting a loan of $1 billion for the importation of essential items including medicine. Several ceremonies have been organized, including the issuance of commemorative coins and stamps in connection with the completion of 75 years of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and India. Declaring open via video technology of the Jaffna Cultural Centre has also taken place today. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has presided over the event. The Cultural Centre was set up according to an agreement reached with the Government of India under the Utturu Vasante programme in the year 2014 during the tenure of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. A bilateral agreement has also been signed on this occasion regarding preservation of Buddhist cultural heritage. Inspection of video technology of the Jaipur Artificial Limbs Camp in Jaffna has also taken place.
Now, the shortage of gas seems to be having a great impact on the majority of homes in Sri Lanka. But there is some good news about an unloading of several thousands of gas cylinders in Colombo. At the same time, there is a concern if this has been affected on the hospitals. The utilization of gas is another essential requirement for hospitals. But Dr. Asela Gunawardena says that it is not so.
And meanwhile, the Litrogas company says that nearly 200,000 gas cylinders were released to the market yesterday. Meanwhile, Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena says that a gas shortage has not yet interrupted hospitals. The Litrogas company employees are engaged in duties even during holidays by taking into consideration of the higher demand for gas in the market. Nearly 200,000 gas cylinders have been released to the market yesterday. The Litrogas company says that a decision has not yet been taken to revise Litrogas prices. The Litrogas company was engaged in supervising of gas distribution in different areas in the island today as well. Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena says there is no gas crisis in hospitals. Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena said that trade unions have stated that there was a gas shortage in hospitals. He added that they have discussed on this issue with relevant health authorities throughout the country and found out that there was no crisis related to gas in hospitals. The Director General also said that gas importers are given priority to supply gas to hospitals. Officials of the Consumer Affairs Authority and the Hatton Police Station have conducted a joint operation in search of hidden gas cylinders in Hatton today. The search has been carried out in response to a complaint regarding certain sales representatives who are hiding gas cylinders issued for the distribution among consumers. Minister Gamini Lokuge says supply of fuel is being carried out continuously. Minister Gamini Lokuge said that the oil crisis is gradually receding. This was due to distributing measures being undertaken on every Saturday and Sunday at the Kolonava and Muthurajavala centres. He added that adequate stocks of fuel have reached the filling stations in Colombo, Gampaha and Kalutara. The minister further said that the country has fallen into a difficulty due to wrong measures taken in the past. Had the oil refinery been supplied with 100% of crude oil, Sri Lanka would have been able to produce 30% of its oil requirements. A ship will bring fuel solely for the electricity board. In addition, orders have been placed for 2 ships carrying 40,000 tons of fuel.
Refinery එක 100%ක් දුවන තත්ත්වයට බොරතෙල් ගෙනාවා නම් අපිට 130ක් අපිට ඕන කරන තෙල් එනවා. heavy duty නවක් එනවා හෙට අනිද්දාට විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයට.
Now, on the conflict which is taking place here among the Russian and Ukraine territories, we have seen several attempts were there for negotiations, which was not at all successful. But also today, they were meant to meet delegates from Russia and Ukraine to meet in Turkey. And Turkey appears to be the third-party security guarantor. And meanwhile, still the shelling is ongoing. Kharkiv is being affected badly. The mayor keeps saying that there is no good condition for the citizens there. They have to be evacuated as the humanitarian situation is a catastrophe.
And certainly, Dhulanjali, with these incidents, and there are certain controversial incidents about the humanitarian corridors, and the number of refugees has been increasing, and yet the war proceeds. And moving on to that Ukrainian update, southern city of Mariupol in Ukraine is on verge of humanitarian catastrophe after Russian invasion, says the city mayor, and he said that the port city must be entirely evacuated, but the Russian forces are yet to agree to give trapped civilians a safe passage out of the area. With 160,000 civilians trapped, Mayor Vadim Boyshenko said that the southern port city must be entirely evacuated, and the 26 buses were waiting to begin transportation people away from the area. But he said that the Russian forces had not agreed to give him the safe passage. Meanwhile, Ukraine has said that the humanitarian corridors will not open from its cities from today due to warnings of Russia provocations on routes. Corridors have been set up to allow civilians to leave on some towns that are surrounded by Russian forces. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Ukraine is prepared to discuss adopting a neutral status as a part of a peace deal. But he has said that it would have to go to a referendum and be guaranteed by third parties. The next round of face-to-face negotiations between Ukraine and Russia take place this week in Turkey.
On news back at home, the Ape Gevatin Patangamu Harita Dayak National Home Gardening Campaign will get underway tomorrow. The inauguration ceremony will commence at the auspicious time of 9:10 a.m. in the Kahatudua village in Homagama. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa said that every home garden should be turned into a work site. Otherwise, the residents should look into the nutritional value and cultivate the most appropriate crops. The minister further said that they hope to seek the participation of 2.2 million families in the program. The program will also be initiated to buy the surplus of produce. He also said on the private sector to join the project. Minister of Lands S.M. Chandrasen has explained how the state lands with minor or extensive cultivations could be incorporated in the Harita Sangrame program. A media briefing was held at the Department of Government Information today on the project targeting the participation of 2.2 million home gardening families. Minister Mahindanand Alutgamage, State Minister Shehan Semasinghe and ministry officials have also attended the event. Now, the Presidential Task Force for One Country, One Law held public consultations in the North Central Province yesterday at the Polonnaruwa District Secretariat. People representing various areas in the district expressed their views at the meeting.
And the Presidential Task Force chaired by Venerable Galabudate Gnanasarothera is currently holding public consultations covering various parts of Sri Lanka and seeking views and suggestions. Buddhist monks and other religious leaders during the meeting said that illegal religious conversations were rampant in the area and the legislation should be enacted to prevent such attempts immediately. Attendees pointed out that all nations parks in the country should be protected and the law should be enforced equally against deforestation. Another group of attendees say that the law should be enforced against those who engage in sand smuggling activities and against the public officials who obtain money from them in an unreligious manner.
The U.S. Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Mrs. Julie Chung, says that measures will be taken to provide loan facilities from the United States Representative Institution on International Development of Renewable Power Projects. The envoy has given the assurance when she met President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. The ambassador has also expressed her appreciation over the cooperation extended to the Under-Secretary of Political Affairs of the U.S. Department of State during her visit to Sri Lanka. The president has explained on this occasion the factors that have led to an economic breakdown in the recent past. He added that the support of the United States is expected in Sri Lankan initiatives at the International Monetary Fund. Mrs. Chang has commended Sri Lanka's decision to go to the IMF and added that this measure would become extremely beneficial to Sri Lanka in the long term. The president further said that steps will be taken to grant relief to low-income earners despite engaging in whatever economic reforms.
And meanwhile, former President Maithripala Sirisena filing a motion before the Supreme Court request to name a comprehensive panel comprising of 5 or more judges to examine the fundamental rights petition submitted against him. The petitioners have accused on breaching on basic rights due to the manner that the former president had acquired his officials residing in Paget Road, Colombo. The former president in his motion has stated that the facts challenged through the petition should be examined according to the Article 43(1) and 43(2) of the Constitution. Therefore, he added that a full bench of Supreme Court judges should inquire into this issue. The former president has requested the Chief Justice Jayanthi Jayasuriya to take an appropriate discussion regarding the naming of the panel of judges prior to the next day of convening of the petition. The petitioners point out that the Maithripala Sirisena, even during the period overseas was functioning as president as well as during the period as he was functioning as a chief of the cabinet, has obtained permission to use the official presidential residence in Paget Road in Colombo to be used even during his retirement. They have also accused him of not maintaining any sense of transparency in the case. Therefore, they have added that the former president's action had violated basic human rights. And meanwhile, the awards presentation in the year of 2021 of the State Drama Festival was conducted at the Nelumpakuna Mahinda Rajapaksha Theatre yesterday. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksha has presided over the event. This year's award presentation has been organized for the 49th occasion in joint collaboration of the Ministry of Buddhisasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, the Department of Cultural Affairs, Sri Lanka Board of Arts and the State Drama Advisory Council. Director of the Department of Cultural Affairs, Sarani Anuja Gamage, has presented the commemoration volume and the Abhinav magazine written by on drama artists of the 90s decade and the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has presented the Natya Kirti Awards to artists of exemplary performance. Deshant Senaratne has received the award for the Best Actor of the Year in Short Play category on behalf of AF Julius Collin, Lalita Sarachandra and Neil Alice. Ashan Sanapiris has received the award for the Best Actress in this category.
And now we go from state awards to Oscars. Now, Oscars is something that every one of us are so excited to watch around the world. But yesterday, it was not just about the awards, but something happened. And it was about a slap which was heard around the world. And I'm sure many of us might have come across this situation if we happened to watch it. But because of a presentation party who was Chris Rock, who was presenting the event, made a joke about the wife of Will Smith. And he was not happy about this. He came all the way up to the stage, slapped him, and was very unhappy about the situation. But he also, Will Smith, became the best actor because of his contribution to the movie King Richard. And also, the best actress was Jessica Chastain. And also, there's one more special event that was taken place. The best picture was Coda. And this was the first time where history was made, the first ever streaming service, Apple TV Plus movie, which won the best picture at an Oscars.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
The most memorable exchange of the film industry's biggest knives wasn't the kind of any more would have anticipated or wanted. Before winning his Oscars for King, Richard Smith seemed upset about a joke that Chris Rock told about his wife, John Pinkett Smith, marching to the stage and appearing striking him. Smith, during his acceptance speech, referred to the character his play, Richard Williams, protected his family, then said, without specifically monitoring Rock of the incident, he apologized for the tenderness. Coda Sian Hader won the Best Adapted Screenplay by The Power of the Dog's Jane Campion, the first woman to be nominated twice as the Best Director, later became the third woman even to claim that prize.
Do what we do, you got to be able to take.
In addition to Smith, Jessica Christiana nabbed her first Oscar for The Eyes of Tammy Fair, following the play Tammy Fair Baker, which was also recognized for makeup and hairstyling.
And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
The other big winner of the night of the screen is science fiction epic Junie, dominating the technical categories. The Warner Bros. Film claimed 6 Oscars for sound, film editing, production design, cinematography, visual effects, and Hans Zimmer's musical score.
I'm not crying for winning an award. It's not about winning an award for me.
Disney's Encanto was honored as the best animated movie.
On the entire cast and crew of King Richard and Venus and Serena, the entire Williams
Supporting
family.
actress and actor represented perhaps the night's least suspenseful selections, but were among the most emotional, with Ariana DeBose and Troy Kotsur winning the Steven Spielberg's remark of West Side Story and Coda, respectively. Kotsur becomes only the second deaf actor to be honored, following his co-star Mary Matlin, who was recognized for Children of a Lesser God in 1987. Gonzalov tearfully accepted an Oscar for his documentary Summer of Soul, and Japan Drive of My Car earns Best International Film, with the 3-hour drama having garnered Best Picture nomination as well. Kenneth Branagh, an 8-time nominee in various categories, received his first Oscar for writing Belfast, the deeply personal look at the homeland that was also directed and produced.
Jane Campion.
The latest Bond film, No Time to Die, granted Best Song for the Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell, one of the few awards handed out to the box office blockbuster, as the industry increasingly splits between popular and prestige fare.
Did someone say flowers?
Our angel, our angel.
Please don't clap.
Thank you.
Oh, it's nothing.
Our news back at home. Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemant Herat says that necessary measures have been taken to monitor the emergence of variants of COVID-19 virus. He urged the public to follow health protective guidelines to prevent the outbreak of any COVID-19 variants in the country.
With regards to the new subvariant of the Omicron virus, Health Ministry is always reviewing the available data, and appropriate action is being taken. At present, what we have found is that just like all other variants of the virus, although they are capable of spreading the disease fast, they are sensitive to the common health measures that we have already undertaken. That is, to keep the distance, wearing the face mask correctly, and washing our hands are the main measures that can prevent the spread of even this subvariant. So therefore, we would like to request all the citizens of this country to continue your good work and adhering to the health guidelines, so that you will be protected and you will contribute to prevent the spread of any subvariant in the country.
Now, on the global aspect of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been bringing you updates consecutively, but at the same time, by now, many countries have come back to normalcy. But what we see as different, China is going back to lockdowns, having many variants coming in and many increasing cases.
And meanwhile, China has announced its biggest citywide lockdown since COVID-19 outbreak began more than 2 years ago. The city of Chennai will be locked down in 2 stages over 9 days while authorities carry out COVID-19 testing. Authorities had so far resisted locking down the city of some 25 million people have avoided destabilizing the economy. But after Shanghai recorded its highest daily number of cases yesterday, since the early days of the pandemic, authorities appear to have changed course. The lockdown will happen in 2 stages, with the eastern side of the city under the restrictions from today until April 1st and the western side of the April 1st and 5th. Public transport will be suspended and firms and factories must halt operations or work remotely. Authorities have said over lockdowns during the pandemic have affected entire Chinese provinces, so people could often still travel within those regions.
The National Transport Commission has planned to deploy a common bus service for the benefit of passengers leaving for villages from Colombo and suburban areas to celebrate the Sinhala and Hindu New Year. The 24-hour special operational studio is also scheduled to be established in this connection. A special discussion in this regard was conducted at the National Transportation Commission premises recently. The meeting was attended by the representatives of Sri Lanka Army, the Sri Lanka Police, the Sri Lanka Transport Board, Provincial Road Passenger Transportation Authority and the Colombo Municipal Council. The passenger transport service in the new year is to be operated under 2 stages. The first stage will be implemented from the 8th to the 15th of April. In the event of high demand for bus services at the main bus terminal at Bastian Mawat, Colombo, temporary passenger transport permits will be issued free of charge to bus owners. The security, food and beverage as well as sanitary facilities of the bus passengers will also be ensured. Similar facilities will also be extended at the bus terminals in Kadawatha and Kaduela as well as at the Makumburat Multiple Exchange Centre during this period. Mobile supervisory officials will also be deployed in service in order to maintain the quality of bus service. It has also been planned to have a reserve of buses as the mean to alternative congestion in buses during the festive season. That's all we have on local news. We'll be back with international news after this break.
Prima Kotumi, hot and spicy, nava vasarak veva.
Ranna butan gas dekai, walik bulan pas denai. Unge kare bottamai, balan hari lasanai.
Prima Kotumi, hot and spicy, nava vasarak veva.
In foreign news, it's about an attack which was taking place in Israel, and a pair of gunmen killed 2 people and wounded 4 others in a shooting spree in central Israel before they were killed by police, according to police and medical officials.
There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the shooting on Sunday in the city of Hadra, about 50 kilometers north of Tel Aviv, but police called them terrorists. The media reports say 2 people were killed by the assailants, with 4 other people taken into hospital and 2 more treated at the site. The attack came as the foreign minister of the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Morocco convened for an unprecedented summit in the southern Israel, with U.S. Secretary on State Antony Blinken. On Tuesday, a Palestinian citizen on Israel who was fatally shot after reportedly carrying out a stabbing attack in the southern Israel city of Bir al-Sebe that killed at least 4 people and wounded 2 others.
Prima Kotumi, hot and spicy, nava vasarak veva.
And on sports, it's about the IPL, and this time it's about cricketer Bhanuka Rajapaksa have been selected for the IPL forefront in his first match of the Indian Premier League cricket tournament, and this was selected because of his performance among the Punjab Kings and Royal Challengers Bangalore yesterday.
The match was played in Mumbai. The Royal Challengers Bangalore team batting first have scored 205 runs for the loss of 2 wickets at the end of 20 overs. Captain Fawd du Plessis has scored 88 runs and Virat Kohli 41 runs. The Punjab King teams has won the match by scoring 208 runs for the loss of 5 wickets at the end of 19 overs. Mayank Agarwal hit 32 runs for Shikhar Dhawan 43 runs. Bhanuka Rajapaksa in an excellent batting performance has scored 43 runs just facing 22 deliveries. His score has included 2 boundaries and 4 sixes. Bowler Wanindu Hasaranga has captured 1 wicket for 40 runs. The match between Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capital team was played in Mumbai. The Mumbai team at the end of the 20 allotted overs has scored 177 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Ishan Krishan has remained unbeaten with 81 runs. Kuldeep Yadav has taken 3 wickets for 18 runs. The Delhi Capital team in reply has scored 179 runs for the loss of 6 wickets at the end of 18 overs and 2 balls, and thereby winning the match by 4 wickets.
From cricket to basketball, and there are many matches taking place at Sungatadasa, so that this is the A and B groups of the Avans Super Cup 2022.
The Ukraine GT team beat the Air Force team 89-25 in a group match. Another A group match between the LSMU Lithuan team and Blues team has also taken place. The winners were the LSMU Lithuan team by a margin of 67-45. In another A group match between the Navy and the Colombo Blues team, the Blues team has won 91-77. Other A group match results: the Corners Lit team beat the Colombo Blues team 82-61. The Anand Kings team beat the Blues team by 81-58 in a B group encounter conducted at the Royal College Indoor Stadium yesterday.
Prima Kottumi, hot and spicy Nava Vasarak Veva.
And that's it for tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.